We're just going to have a look at making or how I make the 009 tippers, and very quickly going to have a look at the software I use. It's Design Spark Mechanical, courtesy of RS. It's a free download, quite an easy 3D drawing program. I'm not going to show you how to use it, but just as an example of what you see when you get this program or work with this program, this is the side gate. Now I'm just altering my drawing because I want a bit more detail on it. I've just added a strap there. I'm going to add another center strap there, so I've selected a work surface, and where are we? 10, 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So somewhere around here is going to be the center, and I want a 1.1 wide strap. That'll do, something like that. And we're going to pull that strap, so we have to select all the elements of it, because I've got planking grooves there, and I want to pull it out. You can see me pulling it out there, and I only want to pull it out 0.2 millimeters, so not a lot at all. And there we have a strap, and all I'm going to do, because this is quick and easy, is I'm going to highlight the square nuts and studs, copy them, paste them, and so there's now duplicates there, and then move them, and that's moving the duplicates I've just made, and then center them on the strap I've done. Now you can do this ever so accurately, but time is of the essence. So we then very quickly have another center strap with bolt detail there, and I'm going to save that, save as, and I'm going to call that hinge rev A, and it's copying as a Design Spark Mechanical file. Save it, and also going to save it as an STL file. Now STL is what I shall actually use to print. So that's done. Now just so you can see, this is the tipper body, and you can see what that looks like when it's drawn. It's got on the underside, it's got the bearings there, and all the detail, and all that prints out very well. So that's the actual body that the gate fits into there. So now we're done with the 3D drawing file, and we now use Chitterbox, and this is the actual file that works out how to print it, and very useful file it is too. So what we're going to do is load, first of all, sorry, let me find the tipper wagons. Here we go. Right, tipper bodies, we're going to load. There we go. Now there's one tipper body. Now this is going to best print at an angle, and what we're going to do is tilt it that way to 37 degrees, because that would appear to be, whoops, that's 39 degrees, 37 degrees like that, because that would appear to be an angle it really likes. And we can zoom back that and you can see, and you get a much better result by tipping it up than you do printing it flat. Now actually I'm going to put supports on that now so I can see what it's doing, and we'll let it do its own thing with supports, and then I'm going to come back and say no, I don't like that. Now for instance, this support here is going to be very difficult to get off without damaging the detail, so I'm going to remove that, and I happen to know, whoops, delete that and delete that, and I happen to know it'll print out perfectly well without it. And that one there is a dodgy little support as well, so we'll get rid of that. And I do want a support under there, because otherwise that'll end up a bit funny, and I want to make sure, yes, there is one underneath that side, so that'll be all right. And that is going to print out quite nicely. It's reasonably well supported, and the key points of the start of the print are supported, so that's going to be all right. And I'm going to plonk that over there for the moment, and then I'm going to load that new gate I just printed, and you can see there's the strap, or you might be able to see there's the strap, but now we're going to tilt that as well, and that wants to be rolling to about that, and we're going to put supports on that. Now, very importantly, that front edge needs to be supported all the way along, otherwise it won't come out the right shape. So that's pretty good. Good. And we'll have a chassis for this as well, just so you can see. Chassis, not with coupler, we'll have a standard chassis. That's the standard chassis. There we go. And we want to roll that over as well. And 37 degrees, you can type 37 degrees in, you don't have to do it manually like I've just done, and put supports in like that. And again, we check to make sure. Now these ends here want support, so we want to add supports in here and here, just to make sure those beams don't droop or anything. But other than that, that looks all right. And what we'll do is have a look at that from on top, and then we can lay these out. Now, that's one set of prints, and what we can do is clone that like that, go onto that one, clone that, and then onto that one, and clone that. So that will give us bits for 2 wagons, and then we want to press slice. Now slice we select all, slice works out the layers, the thousands of layers necessary to produce that little lot. That is now slicing, and then after slicing we save it as a file, and then we then transfer that file to dongle, and once we've done that, that dongle goes into the printer and we print it. And I won't bother to show you the saving and the dongle. Next time you see, oh, here we go, we can save that. I'm now pressing save, tipper wagon times 2, that's a set times 2. So saving that, and I will then pause all this and we'll then have a look at the printer once this is saved. We're set up, or software wise we're now set up to print. This is my Mars 2 Pro, lovely little machine. Let's get this ready. First of all, I'm going to top up with resin. At the back of the tank here is a maximum mark. I've got some new resin, give it a bit of a shake. This is your standard black resin. That's it, we're up to the mark. So that's that. And this is the build plate, and this will just goes on the machine arm like that. It's off because of the last time I used it, so that's ready to go. This cover keeps the nasty frequencies of light out, so the ambient light doesn't set it all off. The printing program is on that now, and I press print, and the file I want, which is 4mm tipper wagon times 2, is there, and I select that and it gives me a miniature image. You can't quite see it, I don't think. It gives me a miniature image of the file to be printed, and I just press play. And that now is going to do its stuff, and it's likely to take about 5 hours, I think, maybe even 7 hours. And I hope there'll be no issues with it. And at this point, we just leave it to do its bit. I also tend to cover the machine to help stop extra light get into it. Certainly does no harm at any rate, and that'll do its cooking for however many hours, and then we'll come back when it's done and see how it's printed and what the post-processing is. Okay, it's 7.5 hours later of printing, and let's see what we've got. So, oh, here we are. So, lid off, and yeah, the prints are done. I've not had a look at this. This is as it happens. Oops. Just trying to shake a bit of the excess resin off. The next step will be to wash this. Now this particular stuff washes in IPA. You can get water washable resins, but this one washes in IPA. Now, just looking at this, these appear to printed absolutely fine. I now need to attach a bracket to this build plate, like this, and this is my washing machine, and I have just put this into a vat. Now I'm just going to put the cover back on the printer and shut it off. We're finished with that. Now, what we're going to do with this is wash it for 4 minutes. It's completely submerged in IPA, and this machine agitates the IPA first in one direction and then another for 4 minutes, and that will get all the excess resin off and make sure the printer's completely clean. So we will let it do its stuff, and then we'll go on to the next stage after that. So at this point we will pause. Okay, this thing's had a 4-minute wash cycle, and here we are, just finished. So there we go. And here we go. 4 minutes washing in IPA, and that is the washed print there for you. Now I'm just going to put the lid on the IPA, make it safe and get rid of it. Finished with that now. And the next thing we will be doing is removing these from the build plate very, very carefully, like that. It's one chassis and one side, and of course with this game you don't want to stab yourself. One body, chassis, side, body, and I'll just give that a quick wipe down, and that's ready. So just give that a quick wipe down, and that's ready to be used next time round. And what I now need to do is, oops, there's it, just thrown that on the floor. Just trying to make sure that's dry, and then that goes on back back on the washer and dryer thing, together with the other components. Once they're dried of IPA, yeah, these are printed very well. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in on, see if I can show you. Not very well at the moment, I can't show you. Ah, there. You can see, you can see that's printed nicely. So that's come up well. But what we're doing now is we're going to put a light on these which will harden them, and this goes back in the machine. We change it from washing to exposure, and I'm going to put 2.5 minutes on that, and there we go, and that's cooking, as it were, and it's exposing light to a certain frequency, and that will harden the resin, and after that the components are done. And that's basically all there is to this form of printing. Perhaps it takes a little bit of practice. I've had very few failures, I've been lucky, but it's a wonderful, wonderful tool in the armoury, and now I should hate to be without it, and it produces some lovely models for me. So there we go.